The election campaign has not officially begun, but unofficially there's already been a lot of electoral nonsense. So let's catch you up. Here is what has happened so far. The most powerful man in Australia, who holds the fate of our nation in his fingertips, this week sat down with the Prime Minister.
I don't care about policy for this interview. I only care about one thing, and that's Jodie.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice, and it explains why a lot of this segment looked less like a 60 Minutes interview and more like a reality dating show.
But the election isn't the only big day coming up for Albo. He and Jodie are planning to tie the knot later this year. Do you ever feel like pushing him in the water sometimes?
I felt like then it was just getting dangerously close to the edge.
Heading down. Well, that's the election.
Is it? Not to be outdone, 2 weeks ago the alternate Prime Minister Peter Dutton also teamed up with Carl to film the worst season of True Detective ever.
Fresh air, Pete.
Jordan.
So different. You couldn't get further away from Canberra.
Well, that's the idea. I think it's good for the soul.
Has a soul. I'm learning already. And Carl wasn't afraid to ask exactly where Peter Dutton stands.
From what Australians have seen thus far, they'd be forgiven for thinking that you are right up Donald Trump's ass.
Well, that might be a Labor line, but it's just not true.
I'm barely at the rim, Carl. Barely at the rim. While the Prime Minister has done what white boys do in times of crises. Discover podcasting.
Pretty funny, really.
It's great.
The most important question for the whole economy and for a whole of Australia, how is South going to go this year?
As bad as me, Mark. They'll go as bad as me. But the real work of the Labor Party has been behind the scenes.
The opposition leader has accused the government of firing up the dirt unit.
The infamous Labor dirt unit is in full swing against Peter Dutton.
While most Australians were enjoying their summer break down at the beach, catching up with families, the Labor Party was churning out memes attacking Kirrily Dutton, Peter Dutton's wife.
Those monsters. Churning out memes when they should be with their family, churning out butter? What do you churn out? According to the media, dirt units are desperate, grubby, and vintage campaign warfare. But aren't elections just the nation's longest and most annoying job interview? And if I was in a job interview and you kept bringing up reasons why I might not be suitable for the job, I'm not certain I could get away with saying, "Oh, you got that information from a dirt unit. You've got a dirt file with all the things I've done in it, and you're using those things to smear me. I will not explain that gap in my resume." But there is one candidate in this election that loves digging up dirt more than just about anyone.
Australian mining magnate Clive Palmer has dropped a political bombshell.
Clive Palmer is jumping back into federal politics.
Trumpet of Patriots is what he's calling it.
The trumpet of patriots.
Trumpet of Patriots. It's the trumpet.
Oh, I get it. There's Trump and you're his pet. Bad dog. But this is a serious new party. So serious, they have this AI-generated logo of the most patriotic Australian animal, the lion, which has in its mouth, you couldn't call that a trumpet, could you? It's kind of a vuvuzela, which makes sense since the party will make a lot of noise and not actually do much of anything. Oh, or maybe it's a lion with a funnel in its mouth, indicating how we're all going to be force-fed Palmer's advertisements. But one thing that's perfectly clear is this party's strong promise to the electorate. New website coming soon. Make Australia wait again. So, how successful will Trump's pet be? Well, last election he spent $120 million to secure one seat. And the election before that he spent $60 million to secure no seats. So it gets a lot of media attention, but will most likely be at best a waste of money and at worst a complete disaster. If only we had a good metaphor for that.
More than a decade after first announcing the plan, the mining boss has again floated the idea of building Titanic 2.
Yeah, that'll do it. And just a few more weeks of this to endure. Good Lord.